Hi guys, and welcome to Honey and Me. I'm Susan, and this is my RV Honey. This video is the second one in the project of removing the carpet from the walls behind the cab of the truck. They were covered in dog hair and very hard to keep clean, so they had to go. In the last video, which I will link right here, we took the carpet out and discovered what was underneath it and what we would have to do about it. Stick around and see how we deal with that and how we're going to make Honey look pretty again. I've got the piece of wood all cut to cover this area here. I used the paneling that we took off of there to use as a pattern. So here is the piece of wood that I cut out using the original piece of paneling as a pattern. It's quite thick, but we had it on hand already, so I didn't need to go and buy anything new. It's quite thick, quite strong. It's probably overkill. So there's the spacer that is glued on with PL glue, and that fits right in there. You can see this metal bracket here is part of the corner support for the RV, and it has this thing sticking out. Now, this piece of wood that I put in here is going to butt up against this part, the part that sticks out. It's not going to fit in here. But I'm going to put some PL glue down here. That'll hold the bottom of the piece of wood in place. There's the bottom. It's all glued in. And you can see there isn't any give there. I'll have to glue the cap for the end of the step in again, but I'll wait to do that until I've got the flooring in here and on the other side. And then I will glue that in as well with some PL. There is the 3 screws. That's all it needs, holding in the top, and the bottom is glued in. So now we can start covering it with the vinyl plank flooring. There's the flooring. So I'm going to be covering it horizontally. Originally I had thought vertically, but I think it's going to be easier to do it horizontally. So this will be fairly easy because I can use the shape of the wood from behind here to trace out where I need to cut. I showed you my video about covering the base of the sofa with this flooring, and all you need to do is make a few cuts into the back of the, that could be the front too, the back of the flooring, and then you just have to snap it and you've got your cut. So we can take this piece now and put it into the stairwell. So this is the same can even that I used for the front of the sofa base, and it's held up really well, so I'm going to continue to use this and hopefully it'll continue to work well. I've got the next piece ready to be measured, and this is probably going to be the hardest piece to cut just because it has to go around this stair here. So what I've done is I've taken it and butted it up against the door frame back here, so it's going to be the right length. And what I do is I take a pencil, and I'm using a weird color because pencil doesn't show up on the back of this, and I just take it and draw a line up using this wood here as the guide on the back. So there's the piece all cut, and you can see it fits in there just nicely. And what I need to do now is cut out the notch so that it will fit around the stair. So what I have to do is measure how high this is and then how far it is from here so I can cut that notch in there. Well, I was right. That piece was a pain in the butt to cut. We had to cut that corners quite a bit and snap them off carefully, but I did it, and it's not perfect, but it'll do. So we're going to put it in here just to test it out. There is that piece. And it's a little bit, there's a little bit of a gap here, but that's not going to be a big deal because there's going to be pieces going in there as well. So it lies quite nicely across that join. So I will spray some glue on there and get that one stuck on. Now I've got, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces up there. And I have that much further to go. So the bottom part was pretty easy cutting, except for that one piece, because this is fairly straight along here. Now we're going to go into a curve. I'll have to freehand a bit of the cutting there. Okay, so you can see the line I've drawn. Because it's curved, I can't use a straight edge to guide my knife, so it's going to be freehanding, and hopefully it'll come out smoothly. See if that worked. You can see it's not a perfect, nice smooth cut, but it is cracked, and I can just cut through the rest with the knife, and we'll get that one on. Well, you can see that I have finished doing this wall, and I have some very fancy weights holding down the piece of stair cap there that I've glued down. I've done all around the stairwell. This piece here is just holding down the little piece I put on the top because it wasn't on an angle, so I've got that kind of wedged in there to just keep it down because it's actually glued. I will need to do something along the top here with a piece of trim because the chances that the mattress will just, you know, end up pushing this away. So basically, if you look down at the base of the sofa here, you can see I've got a piece of trim along the top there. So I'll be doing the same kind of thing along the top of the wall under the bed. So there is the wall that is behind the driver's side seat, and I had to take the couch out, so I just started right at the top here and worked my way up. Now this side has a bit of space here, which I could cut another piece to cover, but because I'm going to be putting a piece of trim in here, that's going to cover that up anyway, so I'm not going to bother to cut a piece for that. So the next part of this project will be finishing that part with trim, as well as figuring out what I'm going to do with this area right in here. You can see there's quite a gap. It fills it in all the way down, but there's a lot of space between the plastic, this is the plastic, that is the cover for the inside of the cab of the truck. And in here, you can see how sharp and nasty the metal is. It's kind of scary when you look in here and see the jagged edges where they cut the back of the truck out. I guess originally this would have been a little pickup body, and they would have had to cut where the back window was and everything out of here. So there's all these very jagged, sharp edges in here, so I need to cover those up with something. Doesn't that look much nicer than the blue carpet? There's the driver's side, there's the passenger side. Looks so much nicer, cleaner. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So in the next video, we're going to finish this project off with the trim and something to fill in this space